afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, your only sanctioned source of Communist 2 education. Today's topic is going to be the Dodge Truck, part of the USF Mechanized Company. A unit that initially started as a calling unit was now sort of actually requires you to build it, so it doesn't come out quite nearly as fast. Overall, pretty cheap though, costing only a bit of manpower. I believe we're roughly looking at, let's find it, 200 manpower, making it actually pretty cheap for a transport vehicle, which by the way, you note, even if you don't actually crew it, it can still be used to capture territory there, so it actually has a bit of utility even right from the beginning there, and thusly can be used to sort of swoop about, seize points while you do some fighting. Of course, it can also be used to fight the troops inside. That's really the primary thing most people do. Staff to enter in it and then go straight for the enemy, in particular as the Oberkommandowest. If they don't have any panzer facilities, it's quite effective, since without snares, you can just drive straight up with a rifle squad inside and just begin dealing damage while the riflemen are safe inside. And the Dodge Truck overall, while not super armored, you can still doesn't take a lot of damage from infantry fire, so that way you can sort of quickly bully out some early infantry squads, and that way give you an advantage. Plus later on, of course, you can sort of add a 50 caliber for about 50 munitions, thus further increasing its firepower. Can also allow you to use it just more independently to support troops, what some players do. Though of course others like Twisted Tootsie just go full hog on it, usually either adding in cavalry riflemen for that way, forming up a more aggressive assault unit that can just quickly swoop in, clear out infantry and wipe them out in retreat, since that's usually where assault units are really good in vehicles, since that way they can just easily keep pace with the retreating unit and just murder them with a submachine gun. So in that regard, that could be a potent combo. And of course, we've seen popularized by players like Twisted Tootsie, you can also just stuff units with bazookas in it and begin hunting down vehicles and to some extent tanks as well, so you can just quickly swoop around, and then you also use step on it. It becomes really fast and can actually be very difficult for the tanks to sort of quickly catch up with. So already there, the Dodge Truck does possess actually 45 ammunition, but anyway, 50, 45, not a big deal. But either way, it possesses, in that sense, a great degree of utility. And of course, that, like most other American vehicles, it has a crew, meaning can self-repair, meaning any damage can quickly just put a bit away, fix it up and get it moving again. Whereas again with other transport vehicles similar to this, you don't usually have to bring up a building unit to actually fix up the vehicle in question. This of course gives the 250 or the Dodge Truck here a lot more, shall we say, endurance and utility, since you will have to manage it a lot less compared with other factions vehicles of these similar types. So that really does give it some extra push there. Additionally, it has several abilities, including it can mark targets for 40 munitions, which of course gives it even more utility. That way you can just, even late game, you can just use to quickly, mark up a tank. So you can't directly take on the tank with bazooka teams in it. You can still, make it easy for other units. But again, if you do have bazooka teams in it, mark the target, then go with bazookas, and, deal a lot of damage. So again, very high utility. On top of that, you also get access to the 155mm artillery barrel, so you can also be used to call artillery. I mean, really, this truck has an incredible amount of utility in it for just 200 manpower, really, which is also why some players are really fond of, and you can particularly see, Twisted Tootsie keep building them in, is losing them all, maybe when it begins slowly taking place from the half taking might still go for a few of them. So really, a lot of utility there in that regard. Good usage of the Dodge Truck will require making full use of its abilities and capabilities, and of course switching out units depending on what you need to do. I mean, pop in cavalry rifle, you need to deal with other infantry. Pop in bazooka teams, you need the vehicles or armor. And if you don't need none, then just need something to grab territory with. Again, the Dodge Truck can quickly just move about, swooping from point to point, while you then have your infantry doing the fighting at the front line. So really, there's a lot here to the Dodge Truck that makes it very attractive for American players when they do go for the Mechanized Company. And I mean, if you do go for it, you will again go really far if you just make full use of its abilities available to it, because again, it has a lot going for it. So again, compared with just that low price and the sheer utility of it, the Dodge Truck is in many ways a strong unit, but again, not through necessarily sheer power, but through sheer utility and scope of abilities and customization, if you will, again, depending on what units you stuff inside of this Dodge Truck. So keeping those things in mind, if you again make use of all that, you'll again find yourself, I think, getting very far with the Dodge Truck and leaving your opponents very, very sad about it, which is obviously what you're trying to do here. So hopefully this has helped you give it a bit of a better idea there of how to make most use of the Dodge Truck, how to get the most mileage out of it, and of course make your opponents the saddest when you use it. As always, of course, make sure not to run straight into 10 guns, tanks, and of course panzer fast, but again, just keep it moving about, swooping around from here to there, keep your opponents off kilt, and overall just a bit on the defensive, you'll be doing quite well. So if you like this video, do remember to subscribe, like, share, comment, press the bell button as well. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and see you all another time for another video. Bye.